Hello, and welcome to Demo Days, xMatters Demo Days. Thank you for joining us today. Please feel free to share any comments, inquiries in the chat screen throughout today's presentation, and we can discuss them after the demo. We'd love to hear where you're from, what piqued your interest in xMatters, any questions that you may have. So please ask away. Just pop something into the chat channel. Once again, welcome. This session is intended for xMatters customers or prospective customers. It is subject to all published fair use policies and other terms and conditions. If you like more information, it is always available at xmatters.com/policy. So introductions. I'm your host, Stephen Walters, and joining me for the demonstration today is Dan Topham. Dan is a strategic solution architect who has been with xMatters for over 5 years. He loves to talk about the art of the possible and to stretch the capabilities of xMatters to bring as much value as possible to anyone using it in order to have an immediate impact across your organization. xMatters is a service reliability platform. What does that mean? Well, what that means for those of you who joined us today is we believe that you're going through a balancing act, trying to build and deliver products that customers are going to love. But you have to do that without disrupting the service that you're providing to your customers. That's where xMatters can step in to help you as the service reliability platform. We can help you by letting you continue to develop those products that customers are going to love, but at the same time maintaining that disruption-free infrastructure. The demo is a brief core overview. You'll see xMatters in action. We're going to show you our approach to successfully fix the problems you face when you modernize a service. To be successful, there are two distinct areas of importance: consistently developing products that customers will love, while at the same time maintaining a reliable, disruption-free infrastructure. That balance is the heart of xMatters. 3 takeaways. We empower you with autonomy through automation, so you have the ability to operate quickly. Secondly, enriched alerts so that you have relevant information and the ability to act when handling a service issue. And third, ease of use, especially in regard to integrations. So please do keep that in mind during the demo. Speaking of which, Daniel, let's do a quick audio check and screen share, and then it's over to you.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. So as mentioned, if you're here today, chances are you are looking for a better way to communicate among the various teams and tools in your organization. Perhaps you're part of an SRE team looking for a better way to understand and triage those pesky random alerts you receive every day. Maybe you're a part of the tools team and you're tired of lackluster integrations and the amount of time you waste on endless integration maintenance. You might be part of an incident management team struggling to bridge the various silos in your organization to get the information you need to restore critical service. We can help solve every single one of these issues, and of course, much more. This is what we'll show you in our demo today. But first, let me set the stage a bit. There's an ever-growing number of tools being used within organizations today. So chances are different teams across your business are choosing different tools for their specific purposes, even if they're similar in functionality to another team's tools. Most of the time, this is due to team members' personal preferences, of course, but sometimes there's specific functionality that's required. While it's great that many teams have the flexibility to choose the tools that best suit them, this can cause a lot of trouble, which is an issue is snowballing across multiple applications, and the different teams responsible are struggling to share that data across the different tool sets to get a clear picture of what's going on. This all leads to delays in issue resolution because teams can't get a hold of information in tools they don't have access to. This is especially noticeable when development and operations teams are using different systems. Perhaps the applications teams is using Jira to track issues, but Slack to collaborate. But then the incident management team is using ServiceNow to track incidents and MS Teams to collaborate versus Slack. When you're trying to manage a disruptive event, the manual steps of going to another team's tools to look up and communicate information can be a huge roadblock. So your time is too valuable to waste. And let's be honest, nobody really wants to spend their entire day resolving incidents with a bunch of manual repetitive tasks. You want to be working on new features and functionality, the good stuff, that'll give your team or your product a competitive advantage. So how do you focus your efforts on innovating while still maintaining a reliable, disruption-free service? Let's take a look at how xMatters empowers you to do just this. So we'll start off here, taking a look at my xMatters mobile app, where I've reached an alert from one of the monitoring tools in our tool set. So in this case, Splunk, as you can tell. First of all, this notification found me because I'm the primary on-call SRE for the team that owns this particular service. And I'm receiving the notification in my xMatters mobile app, as well as receiving a SMS notification and email, because I set my personal notification preferences to contact me on all three of these channels. So when Splunk triggered the signal, xMatters resolved to the right team to contact the primary person on call for that team and the right devices to target, all within a millisecond or two. And now I've received the signal in my mobile app. This is one of the core functions that xMatters performs, getting the right information to the right people as quickly as possible. Now, in addition to this core functionality from Splunk, or information from Splunk rather, xMatters has automatically grabbed some relevant information from several related systems and added it to that same notification, providing me, zoom in here so you can see. So providing me with additional context here I needed to help me quickly understand what's wrong. So this is what we call an enriched notification. Data from a single source is almost never enough to understand what's happening. So in today's world, so much of your tech stack is interconnected that you almost always need to look outside of the alert itself to get better situational context. And most of the time, things only break when someone changes something unexpectedly. So this shows me what else is going on and what may have recently changed. So did someone deploy a new build? Who committed code last? Are my messaging queues backed up? Is this an isolated incident, or are we seeing multiple reports of the same error? Have my ops or infrastructure teams had a recent change window and perhaps they just forgot to set a blackout on your monitoring tools? My first several questions here are already answered for me because xMatters has already done the heavy lifting of retrieving that information. This saves me critical time and a lot of manual effort, allowing me to make quicker, better informed decisions. So think about all the places you have to check when gathering the information you need to triage your current alerts. And then think about how much time you could save if the information you needed was automatically gathered for you every time like this. Now you may be thinking, sure, Dan, yeah, that would be nice, but how complicated is it really to set up all these external integrations, and how practical is it you'd be able to configure a similar tool chain and integrating your own environment? I'm so glad you asked that question. So this is where Flow Designer comes in. Flow Designer is our visual drag and drop integration wizard that lets you build orchestrated workflows, just like the one I showed you in this demo. Each icon on the canvas here is a step which represents an integration or automation that we chain together to build workflows. You simply drag and drop these steps from the palette here on the right into your flows and connect them to form a process. We have a long list of built-in triggers, app integrations, hundreds of integration templates, and the ability to define your own custom steps, allowing you to integrate with any data you like. Just use your imagination. In our simple example, you see the tools that we saw earlier in the alert, the signal coming from Splunk, connecting to Bitbucket for our code repo merges, Jenkins, to check recent builds, RabbitMQ for the status of our message broker, and ServiceNow for recent incidents and change requests. Of course, this is just one of a million of examples. The system can fetch whatever information you need, as it's super easy to swap out these steps. You literally just drag the connector and to a different step, and that's what makes Flow Designer so powerful. Anyone can drag and drop, right? You don't need an army of developers and hundreds of lines of code to build these types of tool chains. By allowing all of your teams to automate their processes, you can increase efficiency, accuracy, consistency, and save critical time and effort. Now, armed with this additional context, you've got a pretty good idea if this alert is something you need to take action on. So, and in addition to enriching the alert, xMatters takes this a step further and helps you restore the service as well. And this is what separates xMatters from the other competitors in the market. We don't just stop at informing you that there's a problem, say, wish you the best of luck, here's the information. No, our orchestration platform helps you automate the actions that you would then take to fix the problem. You may already be familiar with the concept of response options on notifications, but xMatters gives you the ability to customize these beyond the simple accept or reject or escalate type of response options. For example, you can do things like rollback deployment or run some sort of auto remediation playbook that looks for common error conditions and attempts to correct them before restarting the service, potentially saving you from having to declare an incident altogether. Of course, if you do need to declare an incident, xMatters can automate that process for you as well, keeping key users, stakeholders, and tools up to date. Each of these response options are additional triggers for additional workflows that can automate their respective processes or tool chains. So, for example, we have a different run automation and deploy updates. So right here, this will trigger these different automation playbooks and then post the information to our collaboration channels. And then depending upon whether the remediation script fails or succeeds here, then we'll execute different branches of the workflow. And if it succeeds, we'll just create an issue, a Jira issue here, and then close that issue out in Jira. But if it fails, then we want to take some additional actions. We'll let you know in that issue log that in fact that it didn't succeed. And then we'll post and notify our different infrastructure teams in through Slack or MS Teams, depending upon what they're using. So this is an example of the types of remediation that you can perform. And then, of course, this is just an example, but we can perform whatever types of tool chains are relevant for the types of remediation actions or other business processes that you would need to trigger in these scenarios. Now, let's just say you want to modify this just a bit and the enriched tool chain so that anytime the issue is that the service has stopped responding, we can then automatically trigger the run book without human intervention. So without having to hit this response option, and then only notify a human if the auto remediation fails. So instead of having to modify or write dozens of lines of code, we can simply do this. So I'll disconnect the alert, bring it down here, connect this to the run automation. And if it fails, then we'll notify. So think about that for just a second. One simple drag and drop can replace potentially dozens of lines of code modifications, right? And then from here, say if it does fail, maybe we want to connect it to my request incident response option without human intervention, does some remediation, and if it fails, then I could even take this notification and attach it to the very end here, but then attach that to my incident response flow here. So you could even go further than that. So with xMatters, orchestration can range from simple processes that use our out-of-the-box integrations and communication templates, allowing you to get up and running within minutes, to large, complex processes like some of our biggest customers utilize that contains hundreds of automation steps and dozens of interconnected workflows. So as you can see, Flow Designer makes this all so easy. Each team can build their own versions of these workflows relevant to their process, giving everyone the autonomy they need. And as the needs of the business change, you can easily modify your workflows to meet those needs in minutes instead of days or even weeks of coding changes, providing you with greater business agility. So that's kind of a quick taster of the core functionality of xMatters. You've seen xMatters smartly deliver an enriched signal from a monitoring tool to your on-call SRE and empower them to triage effectively and take a relevant action to restore services, all of which is easily orchestrated through Flow Designer. Now I'll hand it back over to Stephen.
Thanks, Daniel. So let me summarize. With xMatters, individuals and teams now have the autonomy, the control to build reliable user experiences. Just move quickly because of enriched communication alerts that support an agile architecture and your desire to innovate easily. This means you can deliver reliable customer experiences. You can iterate without risk. You can protect against incidents. You can reduce operational pain. And importantly, get rid of manual operations. xMatters has helped thousands of teams gain efficiencies across development and infrastructure departments around the world. We've reduced wasted time from unplanned and annoying disruptions, while giving innovators precious time back to create and thrive in today's digital service world. Here's an example. This is a case study with Tesco, a prominent global retailer. Focusing on the left highlights, with xMatters in the picture, they improved issue acknowledgement to 98%. Living a proactive approach to notifications. And by the way, they implemented xMatters in 27 days. And one of the biggest benefits is improved collaboration between teams. We are eager to help you achieve success. Now, to questions. Dan, are you still there with us? We've had a question come through the Q&A here. The question is, it seems like the tool requires elevated privileges in every tool it integrates with. That can be tough in environments where security is compartmentalized. Is that correct, or how does that operate in terms of those integrations, the security and the permissions and rights?
Yeah, so xMatters gets very, very granular, everything from a top level all the way down to the granular level with roles and permissions. So everything from individual steps that you saw in Flow Designer to even the workflows in and of itself, they all have roles and permissions. So whenever you log in, it's not that you magically have permissions and can see all of these steps that are grabbing information from all these different tools. There's one person that can create it and then give permission to those particular people that need access to it, right? So it can be as high level or as granular as you would like, even down to the type of user, API user, things like that. That might have a deeper discussion, but that's kind of how I would answer it.
And of course, the way that you access and the methods by which you access is also configurable down to the technology and the tools themselves and the way that those integrations are done. If anybody would like to understand more information about security and about privacy within the xMatters tool, please feel free to go to xmatters.com/trust. Our trust site lists all of our security, all of our certifications, the way in which we help you and enable you to ensure that not just your xMatters environment is secure, but all of your information that you're transferring, your data at rest and your data in transit, is held perfectly secure. So please feel free to go there and you can find more information exactly about how we offer a very secure package. Just another question, actually, Dan, around integrations. integration, are those unlimited integrations? Is there an additional cost for those integrations?
No, that's the beauty of xMatters is you can build as many steps, workflows, triggers, as many as you want, and it's all part of the platform. In fact, if you wanted to dabble in it, I'm pretty sure Stephen was going to bring this up, but we do have a free product that doesn't have any limitations on those integrations. So you can sign up to use our free product and test us out that way.
In fact, thank you very much for that really, really nice segue. So if you liked what you saw today, then you can try it yourself with xMatters free. You can sign up today by going to xmatters.com/sign-up. The information and the links are available for you in the chat. Or if you'd like to request a personal demo from one of our experts, myself, Dan, and we have many others at hand, then you can do so by going to xmatters.com/demo. If you found this webinar interesting, we have more webinars scheduled every month. So please do sign up on our Demo Days webpage, where you can look at other areas of interest, other information, other ways in which xMatters can help you as an organization. You can also track us down online. Follow us on your channel of choice, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, where we share even more, and we would love to connect with you. So finally, thank you again, Daniel, for guiding us through the overview of xMatters. And to our guests, to you, thank you for joining us. This concludes today's Demo Days event. Enjoy the rest of your day.